All right, we're going to talk about some Taiji applications from the Yang Style 24 form, or the Beijing form, or the simplified form. There are some nuances that my teacher Jason So taught me while I studied with him in Southern California, and I just wanted to share some of that. The first part is when we do our commencement, right, where we bring our hands out and we raise our hands and go down. Right, so in a lot of different lineages, what they'll do is just raise their hands and bring it down. Right, we sink our body and raise our hands come down, and our body rises. And the reason why we do that is that we're trying to use whole body force. Right, we don't want to just simply use our hands. The other thing that my teacher made mention is that Taiji is all about pluses and minuses, and every movement in Taiji should equal to 0. So there's always a sense of balance. We're living in a binary system, and we need to make sure that ones and zeros always come together. Okay? So if I'm raising my hands up and his hands are on top of mine, I don't want to just raise it like this with my shoulders. What I want to do is I want to lower my center and raise. And the same thing here, if I'm trying to push him down, I'm not going to just push him with my hands, right? I'm going to almost as if I'm peering above a wall, right? I'm going to push down and my body rises, right? And so that's why we have this in our commencement. Okay? The first movement is parting the horse's mane, right? So, and we repeat this 3 times. So if you were to stand over here and you gave me a punch with your right hand, right? This is our parting the horse's mane here, right? A lot of us will try to go from here, brush, and go from underneath, right? If we simply use our hands, we can't turn him very much, right? So we want to make use of that heel to toe, toe to heel alignment, right? Every time we do our Taiji stepping, it's not just us stepping forward and then plodding forward like this, heel, toe, always toe to heel. Every time we go forward, we make a little bit of a transition backwards. Right? So as you're punching here, I'm going to brush lightly, come up from underneath, right? And I'm going to use my waist and this heel, toe, heel to turn, right? Another way we can do this a little bit easier, right? You can think of this as china, right? Just as I rise a little bit with my elbow, I can break him. Or even easier still is putting the hand on top, right? Notice that wherever the neck goes, the body follows, right? So that's how I like to apply Ye Ma Fen Zou. Okay? Bai He Yang Chi. White crane spreads wings. So a lot of lineages will just raise their hands up like this, right? What I like to do is you punch. I remember my teacher doing 1, 2, 3. 3 points of contact, one at the temple, one at the hand, and here at the foot, right? This can push him a little bit offside so I can play with your balance. And at this point, I'm going to hook my leg up, right, and go like this. And so again, punch, 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 light, right? I can't do this right now because you're so rooted, so I'm going to push your head a little bit and then come. Right? So that's how I use it. Low Xi Ao Bu, brush knee twister. A lot of us, when we see this posture, we think you punch and I'm pressing and putting you. But notice in the name, it makes no reference to pushing, right? Brush knee twist up. Easiest way to use this is if you kick with your right leg, right? And I go this, and I basically hook here and push. That's easy enough to understand. Another way to do it is if you stand with your right leg in front, and I use my hand to cut a little bit, and then push. Right? So that's the brush knee. Okay. Hand plays guitar, 手会琵琶, right? Where we go up and down like this, right? You punch, right? I'm gonna raise the arms, come in deep, right? And then cut down this way. Right? Again, raising up high, cutting, right? Low. Okay. From there, we will retreat 4 times backwards with Dalian Ho, or repulse monkey. Right? This is a light technique, right? We think of it as so. You punch, I'm here. Right? You punch again, I'm here. Right? So we're not thinking, when we think of the monkey characteristic, right? And some people say Ho means just to retreat backwards. We're not thinking we're forcefully poking him in the eyes or whatever. The hand is kept light. If I want to poke him, I want to hit him with my palm, that's my choice. Right? But I don't need to be locked into any sort of mindset. We will do that 4 times and then go into grasp the sparrow's tail, which is made up of 4 movements, right? We have peng, ward off, yu, roll back, ji, press, an, push. Okay. My teacher taught it instead of retreating back and forward, we will circle and push. Okay? So peng means ward off. So if you punch, it's not me going like this so much, right? This is still a ward off, but we're going more upwards. Roll back is not a push, right? I mean, it's not a pull. You punch, I'm not pulling a so, right? What I'm doing is I'm bringing it up, like up and then down. Right? An exercise that we like to do in Taiji is called Da Yu, or great roll back. You know, you punch me, I will take you here, and I will bring my right foot back, right? So I pull you into the void. That's it, right? So it looks kind of dance-like, right? But what it's teaching me is that I'm not simply using 2D force, not like a lap sao or a sok sao, okay? What I'm doing here is I'm raising you up, taking hold of the hinge in your elbow, raising you up and dropping you down. And if I can use my footwork with it, I amplify that amount of rolling back, okay? G is press, right? G is not from here, right? G is as I'm getting you here, right? I add a force multiplier with the back, okay? And then an, push, right? An. My teacher, again, did not like to just, if you push me and push me into here, like this, right? He did not like to an from here, to push from here, right? Disadvantageous. So we would roll back, right? We would sit back, low how to yield, and then push, and then seal him back, right? So we always let the opponent come into the void, redirect, and establish advantage.
Yeah, that's why he did.
Right, always like this, right? Then we have single whip, okay? So a lot of people, you read some old Kung Fu textbooks back in the 70s and 80s, and a lot of people weren't taught the applications. And so I remember seeing one picture of one person pushing here and then crane beating the guy behind him. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. Taiji is mainly suaijiao, mainly wrestling. And you apply things from very close. So there's no point in doing these 2 things, right? We're always thinking about fighting one opponent. I'm not greedy. I'm not trying to fight 2 people at the same time. So you're punching here. I do a little bit of a brush, right? And notice that when I do this, I'm not pushing from here, right? I'm not doing like a kyosao from Hongga, right? I'm brushing, I'm rising, and then falling. That's why when I do it here, right, there's a little bit of an arc. My hand goes about eyebrow height and then drops. But it doesn't come in a planar way because you're gonna meet it, right? I need to make use of more vectors of force, right, to have you drop. Then we go into cloud hands, right? Cloud hands here. A lot of people think you punch wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off, which is all good fun, right? But I haven't really established advantage, right? And in the form, what we're doing is we're stepping in one direction, right? So it's kind of what I say, like front wheel drive, back wheel drive, front wheel drive, back wheel drive, right? You punch, right? I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna come this way, okay? Or here, this way. I can go on top. But I'm thinking about just one person in front of me, one hand leading, the other one giving a little bit of force to the other one, right? I'm adding it in. That's how I think of it. Gaotang Ma, high pat on horse, right? You punch again. A little bit different from Bai He. No, sure, white crane spreads wings. I'm just going straight forward and cutting. Okay. Then we go into this transition part of kicking, right? Where in Northern Chinese martial arts, I would say generalize into Southern Chinese martial arts, we don't kick for kicking's sake. We always use our hands in conjunction with our lower body, right? So if you're punching at me, right, or even kicking at me, it doesn't matter, right? I will use my hands to do something, right? Fake high, hit low, right? We're very mischievous and clever that way, right? Or another application might be if you punch, and I don't feel confident about my kicking skills, I will use my hand to grab, and I will kick him all I want because I'm pulling him into me. I can't get off balance. Right? Then we have this posture, 双峰贯耳, right? again, here the classic application is I'm boxing the ears and I'm hitting you on the sides of the ears, right? But again, we think about shuai jiao in our Taiji. So our hands are asymmetric, not facing each other. And that's because I'm trying to use your head, right? And get you off balance. Wherever the head goes, the body follows. Okay. We go into these two postures, snakes creeps down, right? Golden rooster stands on one leg. The snake creeps down movement is basically a fireman's carry, right? So you punch, right? I will swoop down here, right? And I'll carry you up this way. So that's snake creeps down. Golden rooster stands on one leg. 3 points, hit, and hit at the same time. Boom. Very easy. And then we have Yunu Chun Suo, which is Jade Maiden threads the shuttle, right? We will meet the hand here, right? And instead of like a very kind of Shaolin way where I just raise up and hit like this, right? And I don't really get, I only hit this 2D kind of effect. What I want to do is I want to roll under his arm, make sure that his rib cage opens up before I insert the palm, right? Because this, me touching, he can still tense up, right? And it doesn't really do anything. Whereas here, I'm occupying the space and then I'm hitting, okay? Then we have this movement, needle at sea bottom, Taiji, and then Shan Tong Bei, fan through back. Taiji is basically a chin na move, right? Cross, hand, grab. No, your hand's grabbing correctly. I put my hand on top. My hand goes on top like this. Make sure that my forearms are parallel, and I drop. Okay. When I drop, right, I'm not going like this, right? My hand is going towards his center as I fold. Okay. Shan Tong Bei, fan through back. Right. Here we create a little bit of a window. Raised, right? I don't need to open him up too wide, right? Because I'm inserting here. And notice that as I hit him, right, my back, my scapula will kind of open and close like window shutters, right? So connect your scapula, make sure that the force is going through the arms as you expand. And you hit. Then we have, after this part, we'll come back, parry, right? Back fist, step parry and push. Step parry and punch, right? So here I imagine that if you're coming at me, right, I'm gonna go here and back fist, right? Then I'm gonna cross my body. I'm gonna basically twist, right? Apply my hand here to seal him off, okay? As I press him, then I start punching, right? I always bridge, make contact, right? Control, then punish, okay? And then bring your hands together. End your peaceful Tai Chi practice. So those are just some applications of the 24 form. Not all comprehensive, but hopefully it gives you just a little bit of idea of how to apply Taiji with another person.